Your focus isn't broken. It just doesn't belong to you anymore. Think about that for a second. Every day you wake up with plans. You tell yourself you'll finally start that project, study for that exam, work on that business, read that book, or fix that part of your life you've been avoiding. But somehow hours disappear. You check your phone for a minute and suddenly it's been 30. You sit down to work and your mind starts wandering. You open one tab, then another, then another. By the end of the day, you're exhausted even though you barely accomplished anything. And the worst part, you know exactly what you should be doing, but you can't seem to do it. So you start questioning yourself. Maybe I'm lazy. Maybe I don't have discipline. Maybe I'm just not capable of focusing anymore. The more this happens, the more frustrated you become. You watch other people stay consistent. You see them building skills, creating businesses, getting fit, learning new things. Meanwhile, you're stuck in the same cycle. Motivated one day, distracted the next. Starting over every Monday. After a while, it starts feeling personal. You stop trusting yourself. You make promises and break them. You set goals and abandon them. And every broken promise leaves a small crack in your confidence. What's scary is that this doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly. One distraction at a time. One delay at a time. One "I'll do it later" at a time. Until one day you sit there staring at your screen, unable to focus for more than a few minutes, wondering what happened to the person you used to be. But here's the truth most people never hear. Your focus isn't disappearing because you're weak. It's disappearing because your brain is adapting. Think about how most of us spend our days. Notifications, short videos, messages, scrolling, switching between apps, constant stimulation. Your brain has learned something very dangerous. It has learned that boredom should be escaped immediately. The moment a task becomes difficult, your brain starts searching for an exit. Not because it's trying to sabotage you, because it's trying to protect you. Your brain naturally moves toward what feels rewarding and away from what feels uncomfortable. Years ago, discomfort wasn't competing with 1,000 forms of entertainment sitting in your pocket. Now it is. And that's changed everything. Imagine trying to read a book after spending hours watching 15-second videos. Imagine trying to build a business after training your mind to expect constant novelty. Imagine trying to focus deeply when your brain has become addicted to switching. Of course it's hard. You've trained your attention to run. Then you're surprised when it won't stay still. Most people think focus is something you have. It's not. Focus is something you train. Just like strength. Just like endurance. Just like confidence. Nobody walks into a gym expecting to lift the heaviest weight on day one. Yet people sit down to work and expect perfect concentration instantly. When they can't do it, they assume something is wrong with them. There isn't. Your attention is simply out of shape. And just like an out-of-shape body, it can be rebuilt. But first you need to stop making one mistake. You need to stop waiting until you feel like focusing. Because that feeling may never come. This is where most people get stuck. They think action follows motivation. They think they'll start once they feel inspired. Once they feel ready. Once they feel confident. But life doesn't work that way. Action creates motivation. Not the other way around. The hardest part of any task is usually the first 5 minutes. That's it. Not the first hour. Not the entire project. Just the beginning. Your mind exaggerates the difficulty before you start. Then once you're moving, resistance starts fading. Think about the last time you didn't want to exercise but forced yourself anyway. Or the last time you didn't want to clean your room but started anyway. The anticipation was worse than the action itself. That's because your brain fears effort more than effort deserves. And understanding this changes everything. Instead of telling yourself, "I need to focus for 3 hours," tell yourself, "I only need to focus for 5 minutes." Anyone can survive 5 minutes. 5 minutes becomes 10. 10 becomes 20. 20 becomes momentum. And momentum is far more powerful than motivation. Another thing nobody talks about is mental clutter. Many people think they have a focus problem. What they actually have is an unresolved thinking problem. Their mind is crowded. Too many worries. Too many unfinished decisions. Too many internal conversations. They're trying to focus on work while simultaneously worrying about money, relationships, the future, their past mistakes, and what everyone thinks about them. Of course, concentration feels impossible. Imagine trying to hear one voice in a room where 50 people are talking. That's what your mind feels like every day. Sometimes the solution isn't forcing yourself to focus harder. Sometimes it's creating silence. Take a walk without your phone. Sit alone for 10 minutes. Write down everything that's occupying your mind. Not because it's productive, because your brain needs room to breathe. Many people haven't experienced genuine silence in years, and their attention is paying the price. Here's another uncomfortable truth. A lot of distractions aren't distractions. They're escapes. You tell yourself you're checking social media because you're taking a break, but deep down you're avoiding something. The fear of failure. The fear of not being good enough. The fear of discovering your limits. Distraction often feels safer than effort, because when you're distracted you never have to face the possibility of falling short. You can always tell yourself you would have succeeded if you had really tried. But growth requires vulnerability. It requires sitting with discomfort long enough to move through it. That's why rebuilding focus is not just about attention. It's about courage. The courage to stay with the task, to stay with the uncertainty, to stay with the discomfort, while everyone else is running from it. And here's what's amazing. Every single time you do this, even for a few minutes, you're changing something inside yourself. You're proving that distractions don't control you. You're proving that your impulses aren't your master. You're proving that your future matters more than your temporary feelings. Little by little your mind starts trusting you again. Remember those broken promises we talked about earlier? This is how you repair them. Not with one massive transformation. Not with a perfect morning routine. Not with some magical productivity hack. You repair trust through small victories. One focus session. One completed task. One promise kept. Then another. And another. Until one day you realize something has changed. The things that once felt impossible now feel normal. The distractions still exist, but they don't own you anymore. You finally understand something most people spend their entire lives missing. Focus isn't about forcing your mind. It's about directing it. Again and again. Patiently. Deliberately. Without drama. Without self-hatred. Without constantly judging yourself. Because every time your attention wanders and you bring it back, you're not failing. You're training. That's the workout. That's the process. That's how focus is built. Not through perfection. Through return. So if you've been feeling frustrated lately, if you've been calling yourself lazy, undisciplined, or broken, stop. Your focus is not gone. It's waiting to be reclaimed. The person you want to become isn't on the other side of some life-changing breakthrough. They're on the other side of today's choices. The next hour matters. The next decision matters. The next moment matters. Because your life is ultimately built from what you repeatedly pay attention to. And if you keep giving your attention away, eventually you'll wake up and realize you've spent years building someone else's priorities instead of your own. But if you learn to protect your focus, everything changes. Your work changes. Your confidence changes. Your future changes. Your entire life begins to move in a different direction. Not overnight, but sooner than you think. So the next time your mind tells you to quit, scroll, delay, or wait until tomorrow, remember this. Your future is being decided in that exact moment. Not when conditions are perfect. Not when motivation arrives. Right there, in the choice between distraction and direction. Choose direction often enough and you'll discover something powerful. You were never broken. You were just distracted. And that's a problem you can solve.